Yes, mate, so how's it going? My name's Lee, and welcome back to the FPL Punk YouTube channel, where we try to dominate FPL one game week at a time. In today's video, I'm going to do a quick review of game week 31, and then look at my team selection for game week 32. If you enjoy FPL content, please subscribe to the channel down below. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
Be strong.
Right, mates, this is my team so far. I've currently got 20 points in this game week. The Liverpool game versus Fulham is about an hour into the game. Fulham are winning 3-1. Salah's done nothing so far. The team's done a bit kind of hit and miss so far, with Raya getting the 2-point out, conceding quite late. Munoz with the goal, Saka with the benching and the blank. I mean, like, I would have only started Salah ahead of him anyway, so there's only 1 point difference there, so like I'm not too bothered. Mateta with the goal as well, so 2 players returned in Munoz and Mateta, and then I've got some blanks in there as well. I'm currently on a very, very small red arrow, down to about 18k, but I've still got a lot of players to play. I've still got my captain to play on Monday night, which is Isak. The Manchester derby kicks off in about an hour and a half. Guardiola is confirmed to be starting, and Foden and Mamouche. We'll see how that one kind of goes. I just think we're going to beat them, you know. I think we're going to beat them 2-1. Hopefully Foden and Mamouche get that attacking return, force it, and then at least I get some points and United still win. So I'll probably take that, to be fair. And then I've still got the Newcastle boys up against Leicester on Monday night, and I'm pretty confident that they can do something there as well. So I think overall I should be kind of small greenish arrow, I think, as long as Salah doesn't return. Because a lot of people have captained him, so like if Salah does blank again, then a lot of people lose out on those points. On the bench, Areola 2-pointer, Sarr 2-pointer, Dunk 1 point, and Gabriel still injured, so he's got none. I'm still a few points off my safety score, but again, I feel like I can make that up with the rest of my team. Not been a bad week so far, but disappointed about the Saka benching. Let's just see if he is going to start over the next few weeks. Let's have a look at my team selection for game week 32. So my goalkeeper and my defence for game week 32, I've obviously gone for Raya ahead of Areola. Areola's playing Liverpool away. Raya and Arsenal are playing Brentford at home. Brentford aren't a great away from home, so I think this is a decent fixture for Arsenal. It's a decent clean sheet shout for them. They've not been great defensively over the past couple of games, like conceding some sloppy goals. Whether that continues, like, remains to be seen. But then they have got the double in game week 33 where they're playing Ipswich and Crystal Palace, so going to keep Raya for that. I'm still going to play him for those couple of games. Not sure if I want to bench boost in this week or next week. I'm going to do some planning over the next few days and kind of decide if I want to play bench boost this week or next week. The only downside is that I would have to play Areola as part of the bench boost. I think the rest of my bench is pretty good. If we get confirmation that Foden's starting, I've always got to make a transfer for the Gabriel position there anyway. So whether I make a couple of changes, I can kind of enhance my bench, or maybe just attack game week 33 and just see what I can do for that. Right now, I'm probably leaning 60% bench boost 33 as opposed to 32, but I'll have a think about that throughout the course of the week. Next up, we've got Dan Burn. He's obviously got the double. Like, I'm obviously going to play him. I think it's a good double for Newcastle. Man United at home, Crystal Palace at home, Newcastle are solid at home. There should be a buzz about the place after winning the League Cup. He's massive. He gets on the end of things. He could easily return in any game. I think there's a decent clean sheet shout against United. Probably not so much against Palace, but we just don't score goals, and I think we struggle against the likes of Newcastle and Arsenal and teams like that. Like, we tend to play okay, but we just don't score enough goals. So as a result, I can see them keeping a clean sheet in that one, and maybe even causing some problems from set pieces, because we're just terrible from set pieces. Next up, we've got Guardiola, who's got Crystal Palace this week, and then he's got the nice double in 33, Everton away and Aston Villa at home. And then obviously blanks in game week 34. As you can see, 3 out of the 4 of my starting players right now currently do blank in game week 34. I'm pretty much 99.9% locked in to do 3 hit game week 34. Otherwise, I'd be taking 3, 4, 5 hits maybe to get a decent 11 on the pitch. So 3 hit 34 is, like I said, 99.9% locked in for me. Like, it makes no sense to be messing around with it and just kind of keeping with the plan. Last in the defense is Daniel Munoz, and scored on the weekend, just gone. Really happy to own him for that. I've not owned him for large parts of the season. I only brought him in on my wild card recently, so really good to get an attacking return from him and kind of be a part of that, because I feel like I was missing out a little bit. 5.2 million, a really nice price point. his ownership is creeping up to about 20-25% now. So I think once this back-to-back double comes around, I think I can see that going to 35-40%. Like, I just think if you're playing 4 games in 2 game weeks, I just don't see a world in where you don't triple up Palace for this. They're not great games. Man City away, Newcastle away in 32, Bournemouth at home, and Arsenal away in game week 33, and then they blank in game week 34. So, like I said, 4 games in 2 game weeks, it makes sense to triple up, and Munoz is just absolute lock on for me. Great attacking threat. They're not great defensively anyway, and they've got 2 red cards with Mark Gahey and Nketiah both got sent off in the most recent game, so they'll probably miss. I think they're both 2 yellow cards as opposed to straight reds, so they'll miss the Man City game anyway, and then back for Newcastle, which probably isn't too bad. So I don't expect them to do great things from a defensive point of view anyway, so hopefully Munoz can still get some attacking result and returns. Moving on to the midfield, and first up we've got Bukayo Saka. I'm currently going to play Saka for this one. If it looks like he's going to get benched again, I think I'll just play Foden, and if that was the case, I probably wouldn't even think about bench boost 32, because I'd have to make too many changes to move some things around. Obviously, like the exact same as Raya, they've got that really nice double in game week 33, which is Ipswich and Crystal Palace. I am very tempted to go for someone else, and from an Arsenal point of view, who that is, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if Foden was the right pick, so maybe I'll look at another Arsenal midfielder, take Gabriel down to somebody else, shuffle some things around that way, or I just go like for like with Gabriel and go and just go get some like Kivior and just not really mess around with it. But I do fancy tripling up on Arsenal for game week 33, but and we will discuss that next week instead. But Saka's a beast, and as long as he plays, he's great. As long as he gets on the pitch, he's great. Just the most recent benchings have been a little bit disappointing. I didn't think he was going to get benched this week. I was really surprised that he got benched this week. So I am relatively hopeful that he is going to start against Brentford. However, I could see him being benched against Ipswich and starting Crystal Palace. Makes sense just to rest him against the weaker teams, especially when they've got a really tough Champions League draw up against Real Madrid. So I can see him getting a rest somewhere, and it might be the Ipswich game, which is probably the one that I don't think you want, and which is the one that I don't think you want him to be benched for. Ismaila Sarr, same as Munoz. Not the greatest fixtures, but he's playing 4 games in 2 game weeks. Makes sense just to play him over the next 2 games. Don't mess about with it. No point talking about him. I think he's decent value at 5.7 million. I think if you can get to Eze, he'd be the one that I prefer, just because I think he's a little bit more consistent from both a goal scoring and an assisting point of view. Sarr just feels like goals, which is fine. Like I prefer players to score goals and get assists, but I think if you can get to Eze, I'd probably prefer that. But on the other hand, I'm not necessarily sure if Eze's worth 1.1 million more than Sarr. Have a think about it. That's entirely up to you. If you decide to go for Eze, I think they're both really good options, and that's just my opinion, to be honest. Jacob Murphy, he's got the double, mate. Like, I'm not gonna mess around with it. I made a video about some transfer targets. I'm looking at all the teams that do double over the next couple of game weeks, and what I really like about Newcastle is the fact that they still play in game week 34. So if you're not on free hit game week 34, they've got Ipswich then. Makes so much sense just to keep him for this. I'm obviously going to play him in the double this week. I might think about selling my Newcastle assets. Probably keep Isak, but I might sell Murphy and Dan Burn in game week 33 where they play Aston Villa away. Maybe double up on some Aston Villa players and get some more double players in for that, and then those players would blank in game week 34. I could free hit all my Newcastle players back in and kind of roll from there. Salah's he's just inevitable, mate. Like, I just don't see the point in messing around with this one. I see people transferring him out. He's not playing great here now. He's not played great for a couple of weeks, but whether Liverpool on the beach, like whether he's on the beach, I just don't see the point in messing around with this one. I think it's only a matter of time before we start scoring goals again. I think he's just that good. Last but not least, we've got the forwards, and first up, we've got Mateta. Got the double. I think he's an absolute beast. He's an absolute unit. I think he can cause any team problems just with the way he plays. He plays to his strengths for the most part. On penalties, like 50% of the time. Like, we don't know whoever is guaranteed penalties, whether it's Mateta, Eze, or someone else. I'd be pretty confident if they got one that Mateta would take it. Like, it feels like Eze's quite happy giving them to Mateta, but like whether they get one or not, I mean, like, they've got 4 games against really tough teams, quite aggressive teams as well that like to win the ball back. There's a chance we could get a penalty in one of these games. I think you need Mateta over the next couple of game weeks. I just think he's a beast. The way he's playing, the way he's scoring, the way Crystal Palace are playing since Christmas, I just don't see the point in messing around with this one. I just think he's great. I think he's a strong consideration for captaincy as well. I think the only thing that's putting me off is the fact it's playing 2 away games and the fact that Isak has got 2 home games, and that's what would make me lean more towards Isak for captaincy in game week 32. Isak's just class, mate. Absolutely class. Really glad that I brought him back. Really glad that I own him for this double. I think his ownership is going to be crazy high. I think he's going to be the highest owned player, the highest owned effective ownership player in terms of captaincy. I can see it being 180, 200%. I think it's just going to be absolutely crazy. I think his ownership is going to be huge. I think people are going to play triple captain on him, and that's what's going to push it past that point. I think even if you own him and you captain him, you might even get any points from him because his ownership is going to be that high. Hopefully people forget and captain someone else, or captain Salah or whoever, but yeah, beast, mate. Only 9.5 million, I think is really good price, really good value. Ownership is around 59-60% right now. It's obviously going to go up over the next few days prior to the deadline for game week 32. He's not been as clinical form as has been over the course of the season. Still looks like he's carrying around a knock and he's kind of playing like half injured. But he's done that pretty much all season, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Like, I think he'll play in the majority of these games. Like, they've still got something to play for. Like, they still need to try and push for those European spots, and they've got a good chance of picking up a lot of points over the next few game weeks. So I don't see an issue with Isak, and I don't see an issue with his minutes. I think he's going to play all the time. And Mamouche is the last one I've picked. Crystal Palace at home. Then he's got the nice double in game week 33, and then blanks in 34. Just like a lot of things about him, to be honest, I think he's a really good buy for City, which kind of kills me to kind of say. There's been talk that when De Bruyne leaves end of the season, they're going to look at someone like 4 inverts. I think Mamouche kind of does that job. 4 inverts isn't that kind of all-out playmaker that De Bruyne is. He likes to kind of rush the box and get goals. I think Mamouche does that job. Like, I don't think 4 inverts is the type of player City need. I think Mamouche is the player that City need, and they've got him, so I won't mess around with that one if I was City, but they might just splash the cash just because they can. But that's kind of a discussion for another day, I suppose. Overall, pretty happy with my whole team. Really happy with my attack. I've got the maximum amount of doublers for game week 32. I've got a lot of doublers for game week 33. The only discussion is bench boost. I'm probably leaning off over the course of this video. I'll probably talk myself out of bench boost 32. I'm probably looking at bench boost 33 instead. Got some decisions to make in terms of, do I transfer Gabriel this week in preparation for next week, or do I move some things around? There's a couple of things I can do with that Arsenal spot, whether I just want to go sideways and go get someone like a Kivior, or if I want to start attacking it and like maybe look at someone that I could take Gabriel down, someone like a Konza, look at Jacob Murphy, see if I can upgrade him to another Arsenal mid. I feel like these are things that I could potentially do, but overall, really happy with my team. Pretty confident of doing well in game week 32. Right, mates, that's it for the video. So we looked at my review for game week 31. Not a great week so far, but I've still got a lot of players to play, plus my captain. And then we did team selection. You bastard, yeah. Right, mates, that's it for it. Right, mates, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. So we did a quick review of my game week 31 so far. It's not looking great, but I've still got a lot of players to play. I've still got my captain to play. So I'm pretty hopeful of doing well over the course of the full game week. And then we did team selection for game week 32 as well. Really happy with how my team's looking for game week 32. I've got the maximum amount of doublers. Team's well prepared for game week 33. We discussed some kind of chip strategies about bench boost, either 32 or 33. I think if you've not got a lot of plays for 34, makes sense just a free hit and just kind of roll through that. Like, I just don't see the point in taking massive hits at this late in the season when I can just play a free hit and figure out the rest of the season from there. But overall, pretty happy with how things are looking right now. Enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, drop a comment down below. Have a good day. Peace and love.